having sleep is very important, especially, I believe, if you're over 40. And with a new one, it's not that easy, like I can barely even think about what I'm going to say with limited sleep, right? That's like I think I'm up every couple of hours, it could be even shorter than that, but it's only been a week. And I have 6 tips that I'm going to share with you of how to get a good night's sleep, even with a crying baby, as limited as that might be. So why do I think it's so important that guys like me over 40 need even more sleep? Well, because our metabolism starts to slow down, right? After 30, our muscle density starts to decrease. Muscle uses fat to take in energy through calories. So the less we have, the chunkier we're gonna get. So it's huge like that we understand that part of it. And when it relates to sleep and fat loss, there's something we call grehlin and leptin, right? I thought it was called gremlin because a long time ago, but grehlin is the one that we don't want too much of, and leptin is the one that we do. So what is grehlin and what is leptin? Well, grehlin makes you think that you're hungry and forces you to go and grab something to eat, right? Whether you need it or not. Leptin is making you feel that you're full. And as you can hear, the little one is now calling me, so I'm gonna have to interrupt this video and I'll be right back. Okay, the baby's has a clean diaper and I was with my wife, so shouldn't be any more interruptions, but you never know. As I was saying, the two hormones, ghrelin and leptin. So leptin, hormone, satiated, full. Ghrelin, hunger. And if you're not getting enough sleep at night, your body's gonna want to use more energy because you're staying awake. And ghrelin, it's gonna get you to eat more. So you're gonna be overeating at night while you don't need all the extra calories. And you're gonna go to things like this. It's tasty, it's yummy, brings back my childhood. Got this from Halloween, but probably don't want to be eating bags of this at night because you can't sleep. So sleep is important, and make sure like that you guys get enough sleep to keep the ghrelin away and the leptin to stay. And if you want to make any of those gains for fat loss, muscle gain, sleep, you got to make that a priority. I have 6 tips on how to get yourself into a good state of mind for a good night's sleep. Obviously a little asterisk, having a newborn, it's probably not going to work as perfectly as it could, but you can still use the techniques and at least set yourself up for later on for a good night's sleep. Tip number 1, it's not going to be a shocker, exercise. So exercise helps to promote sleep by reducing the amount of time it'll actually take you to fall asleep. And speaking of exercise, I have a number of short 7 to 10 minute workout routines that you can do right in your home. And all of it is right here. And they say moderate activity of 30 minutes or so, but you can vary it. You can try that out with various high intensities. Like right now I'm doing small bite-sized workouts, so 7-minute workouts. And some are really high intensity, like HIIT training, and others are more strength and slower balance training. I think any type of movement will really help promote that cycle of sleep. And should you do it before bed, like an hour or so before bed? It's really up to the individual. Some people can exercise within an hour, half an hour, and then after that your body starts to cool down and you go into more of a sleep mode, and people sleep great. Other people, their adrenaline spikes and your endorphins are high and it's still in your system, and it takes a little bit longer for that to get out of your system, so then you can fall asleep. So it's all up to the individual. So it's one of those things like that you can test out yourself. Me, I love exercising in the morning. It's more a mental thing that I get it done. You know, it's out of the way. When I used to do computer programming, the last thing I wanted to do sometimes was go to the gym after a long day sitting at a desk, right? So, but that's me. Like, I like to do it first thing in the morning and I'm out. Okay, now that's tip number 1, exercise. 2, let's see these devices, don't use them when you're trying to fall asleep, and don't bring them into the bed with you because it's not going to help. The blue light from these phones, right, inhibit melatonin. And melatonin is a hormone in your body that helps control sleep-wake cycles. So having a device with you that interferes with the natural cycle, it's going to have you sleeping restless, and it's probably going to take you a lot longer to sleep. I would recommend keeping this phone out of the bedroom, right? The further it is, the less likely you're going to want to pick it up. Tip 3, if you're a coffee drinker like me, or a tea, or whatever you use for caffeine, reduce this, right? And reduce the amount that you're taking throughout the day. And if you're using caffeine, use the energy from the caffeine and exercise or do something physically active. Then you're actually using the caffeine for a positive effect. Yeah, and and besides just using this to wake you up. So reduce the caffeine later in the evening, right? So, and you guys probably all know that. For some, it might actually work the opposite, because I actually know people who can drink a cup of coffee and within an hour fall right asleep. So it is up to the individual, but most studies have shown caffeine is not a good idea if you're trying to get to sleep. And tip number 4, your room temperature. All right, everyone's a little different. Some people like it a bit warmer, other people love it freezing cold. I'm on the cooler end. I like the room to be cooler. And if right now, like, you're having some difficulty sleeping, try adjusting the room temperature and see how that feels, right? Like, it's nothing, for me, it's nothing like a cooler room, crawling underneath the covers, and kind of, it's like a big hug of warmth inside there. So try to adjust your room temperature and see how that works for you, because you never know. Tip number 5, limit the liquids closer to your bedtime. So I would usually say an hour to 2 hours, right? Like, I'm not saying don't drink anything at all, but don't have 2 glasses of water like right before bed, because it's probably going to interrupt your sleep. And if you're finally having a good night's sleep, the last thing you want is a little knock 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 down below to say, hey, get up, you gotta go take a pee. You can just imagine when you're underneath the covers and you really don't want to go, and you're trying to fall back asleep. And I know I've been there, but sometimes you just have to get up and go. So limit the liquids to help with a good night's sleep. Tip number 6, I'm a big fan of white noise. Any of those white noise sound machines, apps on your phone, the trickling water or the rainfall or the ocean, birds chirping, whatever it is like that you like. I'm a big fan of that. So like, I remember when I was living in Vancouver, and I was living in a densely populated area, so there's like a lot of people around all throughout the night. I can hear conversations, I can hear shopping carts rolling around, just like tons of different little noises. And when you're trying to get to sleep and everything is quiet, and you hear those one high-pitched noise and then a siren here, that instantly woke me up. And I fell in love with white noise because it just drowned out everything. And I'm a big proponent of it for our newborn too, right? Because it's all silent, and all of a sudden we'll drop a fork on the ground, and that's, you know, it's a sudden loud noise, and that might wake her up. And last thing I want to do is wake up a very comfortable sleeping baby after we've tried for an hour to get her that way. So white noise maker, get it, try it out, try to drown out all those other little noises, and that's one of the ones I recommend having all the time wherever you go. And if you're enjoying my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Click on that little subscribe button right there, and that'd be much appreciated. Now, supporting this channel, it lets me know that the videos I'm uploading for you guys are finding the information useful, relevant in your own life, and it just keeps me going. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and when you do, click on that little bell notification, and that'll let you know when I upload my next video. So click and subscribe.